Hello everyone, welcome to Blue Dragon Universe. This is Blue Dragon Actuarial YouTube channel, and this is the first week of Vedic Mathematics. Now, when I decided to kind of create a Vedic Mathematics course or fast calculation course, so I thought that it will be done over 10 weeks, but this 10 weeks may not be in sync. Like we might take a gap of 1 week and then the next week, so it will be 1 week, then third week, and then fifth week in that way, like the odd number of weeks, right? So eventually it will be spread over 20 weeks, possibly. I have not even thought about that, but maybe that is my thought process. But I have to figure that out, right? So maybe in this month there will be another week video on Vedic mathematics, and the remaining weeks will be sharing videos on Actuary, right? Because our channel is actually actual channel, but this is something that is kind of important, and slowly and steadily we will also diversify into other areas of competitive exams, like maybe bank POs and bank clerical, then CAT, right, MBAs and GMAT, etc. So after we kind of are done with the actuaries subjects and everything, so then we will slowly diversify into those. And I believe that this is a good start for those, like with this will also attract people who are working in that domain, right? So without further ado, let us start Vedic mathematics. Now, first of all, the very important thing about Vedic mathematics is psychology. So we are going to study a bit of that today, and throughout this Vedic mathematics course, those would be kind of the psychology would be discussed time and again, and I'll ensure that the psychology is drilled down inside you whenever you work on something like this. And obviously Vedic mathematics works on multiplication, division, bit on addition and subtraction as well, and square root, cube root, and special cases, right? So that is very important that we go through this. Today we are going to see five different techniques for multiplication, and possibly next week we are going to start on the base method, and then there is also a Japanese method which you have seen, probably you have seen something like that. So all there are multiple methods which we are going to study and discuss, right? Multiplication and division are the things that are not as easy as addition and subtraction. So whenever we convert something into multiplication problem into addition or subtraction, it is much easier to do. And then square root, cube root, etc. would be, once again, it's a you can impress people by doing a square root or cube root in 2-3 seconds, right? So I think without any further delay, let us move on, and let us first understand the psychology, what you should do about Vedic mathematics, what you should not concentrate on about Vedic mathematics, and then the remaining things would be much easier and much clearer to understand, right? So moving on. So first of all, understand three important points. Now, whenever we talk about Vedic mathematics, there is also a discussion, like we already, I mean, our ancestors were very clever and they devised so many methods and they were able to do something very, very quickly. Actually, that is not the case. They were definitely clever, but Vedic mathematics is situation specific. It works well in a particular situation, but the method that we learn in school or colleges, those are traditional method and those are applicable in every situation. So something that is applicable in every situation is way more stronger than something which is available or applicable in specific situations. So this is the first thing that you need to remember about Vedic mathematics, that is not applicable everywhere. Traditional method is still the best method because it is applicable everywhere. It is much more stronger than Vedic mathematics. However, if you also know the traditional method, like this is Vedic mathematics is not a substitute of traditional method. If you know the traditional method and then also you know specific cases where Vedic mathematics can be applied, you can do your calculation a lot faster, right? And it does involve a lot of memory. You have to probably remember all the reciprocals from 1 to 40, all the cube roots from 1 to 20, and all the tables from 1 to 50, right? So then only you can utilize the real power of Vedic mathematics. And that is, if you want to understand or learn this, that is something you need to kind of memorize as well. So it does require a lot of homework from your side. It is not that there is some magic thing going on and you'll be able to say something like that. You need a lot of practice and preparation and a lot of memorization, right? So it is, which is not required for traditional method. Once again, that is why traditional method is much more powerful as compared to Vedic method, right? And finally, speed. Like whenever we talk about speed, we, like I keep on hearing, and I have already made a video on that, youngest actuary and something like that. So whenever we speak of speed, we are like very happy, like society appreciates speed, but speed is dangerous actually. Speed kills, right? You've probably seen that notification in roads and everywhere. So speed actually reduces quality, and that is very, very dangerous. So speed is dangerous. Please focus on quality. Of course, Vedic mathematics will ensure that you are able to do some calculation with speed, but in doing that, you should not lose your grip over mathematics or grip over calculation, so that you lose the quality of maths, right? So please do not focus only on speed, focus on understanding the concept, and then speed will automatically come to you. Moving on, and this is the most important thing. That's why this is my viewpoint, that's why you can see my picture, but I'll categorically state that this is not mathematics. Mathematics mean why 1 plus 1 is 2. The answer for all the whys lies in mathematics. Mathematics is present throughout the universe. All the big discoveries that is happening are nothing but use cases of mathematics. So mathematics is much more widespread, and that is why we call everything by mathematics. So technically everything, even your English and Bengali is also, or Hindi is also mathematics. So mathematics is everywhere. It is the most powerful discipline that I've learned, and it will always remain the most powerful discipline, whether it is AI, whether it is Actuary, whether it's data science, whether it's even Excel or any software coding. Mathematics is everywhere. You cannot survive without mathematics. People who say that I'm bad in mathematics, even saying that they are bad in mathematics, they're utilizing multiple streams and versions of mathematics. We can create a separate video on that, but I mean, this video is not for that. But mathematics give you answer for why, and some of the answers are not yet evident to us or scientists, but maybe in future it will be evident. However, this is a method of calculation. Vedic mathematics is basically a method of calculation. Many people promote this, saying that this is mathematics and you will be a genius in mathematics, etc. That is not true. You will be a genius in mathematics if you can answer why, not when you know that 1 plus 1 is 2 and we are deriving some faster way to arrive at 2. Because in this world, when there is Excel, when there is Python, when there is calculator, this is not a skill that can get you job, right? Or this is not a skill that can, that can make you a millionaire or billionaire, right? However, it is important for banking and MBA exams, and it is a like a filtering criteria for many people. Like this is the basic average that you need, and if you have that, then you can actually apply your mind to solve complex and difficult problems, and then you can be reach that level. So this is not mathematics, this is just a method of calculation. So please do not consider someone as a very great mathematician if that person can calculate quickly. Maybe that person do not know why 1 plus 1 is 2, right? And maybe many people watching this video do not know why 1 plus 1 is 2, what property of mathematics it is displaying. And that is why it is very rudimentary to say that Vedic mathematics, people who are good in Vedic mathematics, they are good mathematician. That is like that is kind of not respecting mathematics at all. So this is my own viewpoint. However, of course, you might have your own viewpoint, and you are welcome to have that. You are entitled to have that. But I'll just say that this is just a method of calculation. This is not mathematics. Moving on. So method how to learn. First, you need to understand the algebra. Most of the method that you'll see that will have some underlying algebra behind the scene. And if you remember that conceptually, never forget that. You have to also understand limitation, as I mentioned. It is not applicable everywhere, so you have to understand the limitation. Sometimes it can be done very quickly for smaller numbers, but for bigger numbers, it might not be that easy to do. Then practice a lot. You also need to practice a lot, because otherwise you will not be able to kind of replicate it in real life scenario. And please do not rush. The moment you are going to rush in such problem solving, right, once again speed will kill you, and you lose the quality. So please do not rush when you are going through something, right? Even for this video, do not skip the video and watch something, or do not move through, like when you see one example then you skip to the next one. Please do not do that. If you do that, it will harm yourself, right? So have the patience, have the attention span of minutes, so that you can see that, instead of having an attention span of seconds. So moving on, now we'll see some case study, and today we are going to cover 5 case study, and then we'll stop there, right? So multiplication with 37, and this is only applicable, once again it is situation specific. So this is only applicable when you are multiplying 37 with a multiple of 3. It can be 3 itself, or some multiple of 3, right? So whenever you are multiplying 37 with something, some multiple of 3, right? So for example, the first one, which is 37 into 3, right? So you first need to divide this 3 by 3, right? So 3 by 3 is 1, so that would be written thrice. So 3 by 3 is 1, which is written thrice, 1 1 1. So that is how it goes. So you do not need to do the actual calculation. If you just remember this method, it's very easy. Similarly, 37 into 6, which is 6 is 3 by 2, which is, and that you need to write 3 times, right? So 2 2 2, which is triple 2, right? And 37 into 9, which is 9 by 3 is 3. It has to be kind of replicated 3 times. So that is 3 3 3, and that way I think you get the picture. 37 into 12 divided by 3, 12 divided by 3 would be 4, so that will be replicated 4 times. Now the things get interesting when it is 33, right? So the 33 by 3 is 11 11 11, which I have written, right? But you obviously, because of the base effect, you cannot write 37 into 3 1 1 1, we understand. 37 into 6 2 2 2, we understand. But 37 into 3, this number is not possible because the base is not that big, right? Here this base are like, these are two double digits, so the base is not big. In the next week we are going to study more about base and everything else, right? So there the concept of base would become even more clear. But obviously this is kind of logical that this cannot be the case. So here we are going to add this, so the last two digit will be kept the same and the remaining two digits will be added. So 1 plus 1 and 1 plus 1, right? So you can replicate this calculation for 37 into 36 and whatnot, right? So you'll get the you'll get the solution. So whenever you see some two digit coming here, right? Suppose it is 11 and here is 12 and here is 5, right? So whenever there is a two digit, you need to add, right? So 11 and then 11 and 11, so the this two digit, the one of one of 11 and another one of 11, this would be added to become 2. One of this 11 and one of this 11 will be added to get 2, and we'll get 1 2 2 1, right? So this method is applicable only when you are multiplying 37 and multiple of 3. As I mentioned, it is situation specific. It will not work in every situation, right? So you cannot apply this while doing a 39 into 3. That will not work, right? But 37, you can apply this. Okay, moving on. Multiplication is 999. Now you can say that, hey, I can do a 1000 minus some one and do the calculation. That is also possible, but this I believe is important to consider because it is much quicker. So 57 into 99, the method is first from the first number, like this number 9 to 57, whatever is multiplied with 99 or 999 or whatever it is, right? This two number first of all has to be of the same number of digit, like it is 57, it has to be 99. It can also be like this number can be lower than the number of digits here, so it can be 57 and it can be 999, which we have shown an example here as well. So we'll come to that. But this number cannot be, if this number is more than 99, then there is an issue, which we have shown another example and we'll come to that, right? So for this sort of multiplication, when you are multiplying same number of digit with 99 or 999 or 9999, right? So then from this number you just deduct 1, so that is 57 minus 1, that will be 56, and this then deduct this entire number from 100, right? So that is 99 plus 1, whatever is like, or 999 plus 1, that will be 1000, right? So this is 5643. Similarly for this number 577 into 999, from 577 deduct 1, which is 576, and from 1000 deduct 577, right? So which is 576423. Similarly for 37 into 99, 37 minus 1, right, which is 36, and then 100 minus 37, which is 63. So 3663. You can see how quickly you can, like, you can do this calculation in seconds, right? Then I'll come back to this one, but first let us complete this. So 57 into 999, here you can see the number of digits of 57, number of digits of 999 are different, right? And this one is greater. So if this one is greater, it's not an issue, you can apply same method. So what I am going to do is I'm just going to add a 0 here, so that the number of digits are same and it does not impact our calculation. So it is 057 minus 1, which will be 056, so eventually it means 56, right? And then 1000 minus 57, it's, in this case it will not be 100 because the base is base is more. It is, instead of 99 it is 999, so 1000 minus 57, which will turn out to be 56943, right? So this is how you can do the calculation, right? So whenever the number of nines are more, right? So then you can still apply this method with some adjustment, like we have added the 0. But if the number here, the number of the digits in the multiplicative number is more, then this method will not work, and that is a limitation of this method, right? So then this method will not work. So in that case, the best way is to split it into two different digits or two different numbers. So 577 can be written as 500 into 77. You can very easily do the calculation of 5 into 99, which is 49500, and this 77 into 99 will follow this similar logic. So 77 is 76, and 100 minus 77 is 23. So 49500 plus 7623. Now you will add that to get this one, 57123. This multiplication, if you do this by traditional method, and if you do it by this method, this is also slightly longer. It will take some more time, but this will still be much easier than the traditional method. And that is where I think you can see the power of Vedic mathematics. However, once again, it is situation specific. It is not applicable everywhere, right? So 577 into 99, here the number of digits are more, and that is why you are splitting it into two segments or two numbers where the number of digits will be similar to 99. So that is the way around that, right? So you are taking a specific situation, and from that specific situation you are making it applicable to all generic situation, so that you can do the calculation when 99 is one of the multiple, right? So I hope this is clear, and you can obviously try several methods, but I think you can do this calculation in seconds, right? Moving on, the multiplication within same range. This is something that is very easy to understand. So whenever you are seeing some number in same range, which is that both the numbers belong to 70, or both the numbers belong to 40, or in this case both the number belong to 60, right? So that is the first condition, and then the sum of the last two digit would be 10, right? So here 7 plus 3 10, here 8 plus 2 10, or 7 5 plus 5 10, right? So sum of the last two digit would be 10, and the number should be in the same range, right? So it cannot be 37 into 77, right? The last two digit is 10, but then the first two digit are not in the same range, right? So whenever the number is in same range, that is the first condition. Second is the sum of the two digits are kind of similar. So then with the first digit, you just add 1 and multiply. So 7 into 7 plus 1, in this case 8, 7 into 8, which is 5 6, and you multiply the last two digits, which is 2 1, right? Similarly here it is 4 into the 4 into 4 into 4 into 5, because 4 into 4 plus 1, that is 5, and then 8 into 2, that is 2016. You can see that you can see this, do this calculation in seconds. However, once again, it is situation specific. It is not applicable everywhere, right? So that is why traditional method is much more stronger. But if you know a specific situation, and if you apply that to this situation, right, to Vedic mathematics to that situation, then you can do it much more faster than kind of traditional maths, right? So that is how it is, right? So the once again 64 into 66, right? So first of all, both are in 60 range, and then 4 and 6 sum up to 10. So 6 into 7, that is 42, and then 4 6 24. So that is how we have written 424224. And please, throughout this, like whenever I'm making a presentation on Vedic mathematics, sometime I'll write equal to, but that equal to might not hold. Like it may not make sense. In this case, it is probably making sense, but in other questions, other situation, it might not make sense. So please consider this equal to as equivalent sign. It is not a mathematical equal to that I'm writing, but there is no better symbol I can write. So that is why I'm writing equal to here, right? Now here, let us look into a bigger problem, which is 112 into 118, right? So whenever we get some problem like that, we have to convert the 11, and this is in the 110 range. So 111, we are taking 11, because we have to split between the we have to first we have to take the last digit, and we can see that 2 plus 8 is 10. So that is the last two digit. That calculation stays the same, which is 2 into 8. But then because this is a bigger number, it is 110. So we are going to take 11 into 12, right? So 11 into 12 is 132, which how we can do that quickly is what we are going to see in the probably the next section, right? So how we can do 11 into 12 very very quickly, right? So 11 into 12, in case if you know the multiple of 11 or table of 11, it's very easy to calculate 132, right? And then the remaining would be 16, right? So same concept here, it was 6 into 7, here it is 11 into 12, 11 into 11 plus 1, right? So same concept has been applied. And now 548 into 542. So this is a bigger number, right? It's a huge number, where which is the limitation for this as well. So whenever the numbers are small, you can do this calculation very easily. But whenever it is a big number, then the calculation becomes difficult, right? So what you are going to do here is, here we know that it is 8 into 2 16, so that is not an issue. But then we know that these are moving in 540 range. So 54 into 55. Now 54 into 55 is not an easy calculation, but once again we can split this 54 into 11 into 5, right? And I'll show you how you can do any multiplication with 11 very, very quickly. So if you know that, I know that 54 into 11 would be 594, right? So if I can do that, then I know that 594 into 15 into 5 would be much easier to calculate, because we can, the multiplication of 5 is much easier, right? So here we know that it will be 2970, and the last two digit is 16, right? So in that way, if you kind of apply your brain as well here, and if you split it into much more simpler method like 548 into 55, I think you can do that. However, if this is a different number, maybe suppose it is the 378 and 372, and then you have to multiply 37 to 38. So there you have to do the calculation, right? Although and there you cannot apply that rule of 37, like 37 and 38 by 3, because 38 is not divisible. But had it that been 37 into 39, then you can apply the rule of 3, right? Rule of 37. So you have to be specific whenever you are understanding Vedic mathematics. You have to know which rule applies where, right? And what are the limitations of that rule. That is why the psychology section was very, very important. So in this case, we can apply this rule, but in some other cases, this rule might not be applicable, and it will be very difficult to do the calculation in this method. And traditional method will be the best method, because it is applicable everywhere. Moving on. So now we come to multiplication with 11. So whenever it is a multiplication with 11, you just need to write the first letter and the last letter, right? So here it is 12 into 11. So just write the first letter and last letter, and for the middle letter, right? So it will be 1 plus 2, right? So there is 1, 3, 2. Now if you do a traditional method of multiplication with 11, if you just write that in normal form, you'll easily see why this is happening in that manner, right? But so that is something that I leave to you. Here you can understand the method of calculation. Then 7 2 into 11. So we first write 7 and 2, and then 7 plus 2 is 9, so 792. Now this is a bigger number, which is 722, right? So how we are going to now write this? So first we are going to write 7 and 2, right? So 7 and 2 is written, but then there are three numbers, right? So in this case we are going to like we have seen a previous example in the 37 rule, right? So we are going to follow the same method, 7 plus 2 and then 2 plus 4, right? So it will be 7 plus 4, 7 plus 2 is 9, and 2 plus 2 is 4, so 7 9 4 2, right? Because here we cannot do the 7 plus 2 and 9, because there are there are three numbers, right? So we have to kind of do some permutation combination like that, right? 7 2, what is the number that is here? Then 2 4, what is the number that is here, right? Now we have taken a even bigger number, 6 7 3 4 5 into 11. So we know that first we are going to write 6 and 5, right? So these two numbers would be consistent, and we're going to write that. Then we have to do the permutation combination, 6 plus 7, then 7 plus 3, then 3 plus 4, and then 4 plus 5, right? So these are the numbers, right? Now out of this 6 and 13 and 10, so if you just sum that, then 6 13 10 7 9 5. That is why I mentioned that equal, whenever I'm writing equal to, that is not the mathematical equalities. It's like how you are solving, that is, it represents the next step, right? Probably an arrow would have been better, but because I'm so accustomed with writing equal to, so this does not mathematically mean equal to, right? So coming back to this, then 6 13 10 7 9 5. So here we'll do the calculation from the left hand side always. So 5, that is okay, 9, that is okay, 7, that is okay, but here it should be a single digit, but it is double. So I'm going to add this 1 here, so it will be 14, right? So here we kept 0 and we add the 1 here, it's 14. Now doing this all mentally is very difficult, right? At least for me it is difficult. So that is why I mentioned, do not run after speed, do not sacrifice the quality. However, if it's someone who does not know Vedic mathematics gets a number like this 6 7 3 4 5, and probably that person would take more time than if you know this method and if you practice this, right? If you practice this, when I was writing my bank PO exams and I practiced it, I have already made a video on that, how I was not able to clear the bank PO exam, and then how I realized that what I need to do to clear the bank PO exam. So I was used to practice this day in and day out, and I got the hang of it, right? So then I could do easily. So I can do the mental calculation like, okay, 6, 7, 13, and because you have to remember all of this, right? 6, 13, 10, 7, 9, 5. You have to visualize all of this and you have to remember all of this, which is not easy, right? But once you practice, you will get the hang of it, right? So here, 6, 14, 0, 7, 9, 5, and then 1 would be added here. So it will be 7, 4, 0, 7, 9, 6, right? 7, 9, 5. Sorry, it will be 7, 9, 5. Mistakenly, it has been written 6. So just ignore this. It will be 7, 9, 5, right? Moving on, multiplication with 15, right? So now we have seen multiplication with 37, we have seen multiplication with 99, or numbers in that manner, 9999, no matter how many nines, right? Now then we have seen multiplication like in the same range, and when the last two digit is summing up to 10, then we have seen multiplication with 11. Now this is the last one for today, which is multiplication with 15. So whenever you get some multiplication with 15, you have to divide this number, whatever number is multiplied, you have to divide this number with 2. If it is an odd number, then you have to subtract that, subtract 1 from that, and then divide by 2. And depending on whatever is the last digit that should be present, that last digit you should be writing that. So just to explain this, 57 into 15. So this is an odd number. It is not divisible by 2. So you have to first take 57 minus 1, which is 56, divided by 2. So we all know 56 is the multiple of 28. So we have written 28 here, and along with that 28 we should add this 57, right? So 28 plus 57, which would be like, you have to do this calculation mentally and faster, right? So that will be 65 and then 85. So 85 here, and then 7 into 5, last two digit will always be 5. So because it cannot be anything else, right? Any 5 multiplied anything is either 5 or 0, right? So that is why it should be 5, right? And you just write 5 here, right? Similarly, 77 into 15. So we know 77 is an odd number, it is not divisible by 2. So 77 minus 1, that is 76. So what is 76? 76 is the multiple of 38. So 38 plus 77 is 115, right? And then 115 into 7 into 5 would be 5. So 5, right? Then 772, now this is an even number, this is divisible by 2. So 772 by 2, it gives 386. 386 plus 772 is 1158, and then 2 into 5 would be 0. So last digit should be 0, right? So you can see, if you do this calculation in traditional method, it will take a lot of time. However, if you do this calculation like this, right? Okay, 772, the 772 is by 2 is 3, and then 8, and then 6. Okay, 3, and then 772 plus 386. If you can do this calculation very, very quickly, right, then this answer would be, you can obtain this answer very, very quickly, right? Then 573 into 15, we know this is an odd number. So 573 minus 1, that is 572, which gives that it will be somewhere around 286. The 286 plus 573, we know it will be 851, 859, and then 3 and 5 would be 5. So which will be the last number, right? So I hope you understand this, the calculation method. These are the 5 tricks that we have, and if you have any difficulty, if you are finding a case that is not applicable here, please do write that in the comment section. All of us will be educated with that, or if there is an answer, I'll reply, respond on that. However, that this is not the end of the video. There is a psychological question that I'm going to ask you, and you will see this question, like say this sort of video ending henceforth, if possible, or which is relevant to a topic, then I'll try to do that, because I believe that the mindset of the current generation of India is moving in a wrong direction, and it is somehow our responsibility to bring it to the right direction, so that they question and do not just blindly have faith on something. It is your responsibility as a human being. You have achieved whatever you have achieved till today because of questioning something, and if you are giving up on that question, and if you are traditionally believing something because others believe on something, that is by faith. If you are not questioning something, you do not question faith, right? So if you just question, if you do not question anything, then you stop growing, and which is happening with India, and especially this current generation, or the Gen Z generation. They are not questioning, they become dumber and dumber. So in order to stop that, I have a question, a psychological question for you, and this is a story. Now, in this, you have to write in the comment section who is a genius. So, this is the story of a father and her daughter and his daughter. That, once again, this should be his. Please ignore the the grammatical error. So, once there was a father who found out his daughter is a genius and can do all calculation well. Like you give, like that person was a Vedic mathematics genius, like society used to call, right? So, and still calls, not used to, still calls. So if you give them a number like 5783 and then 4826, what is the multiplication, that person can respond very very quickly, right? So that father recognized this talent about his daughter, and he did everything possible so that everyone know about his daughter, and his daughter makes a lot of money, right? So the question is, who is genius? Is the father genius because the father has recognized the talent and promoted the talent to the rest of the world in a way that only he can, because many other people might be genius as well, but then that promotion might not have happened, right? So that is also whether that is a genius, or whether the daughter who is kind of doing all those calculation orally, and by the definition of society that person is already a genius. So who is genius, or both of them are not genius? What is your rationale behind identifying who is the real genius here, right? So that's it. This is the first video of Vedic mathematics, maybe in this month. So as I mentioned, probably I'll release another video after the next week. Like the maybe next week I'll have a different topic, maybe actual or finance related, and on the very next week, that the week after this, after the coming week, then we can have the week 2 video of Vedic mathematics. But if the response is very good, then we can do it weekly as well, right? So it depends on the response that we get, how many people watches this, what are the, and if people are finding it interesting, please do write that in the YouTube comment section. Answer this to the YouTube comment section. For any question also, YouTube comment section, do not message me personally, right? Please write that in the comment section, and please like, share and subscribe this channel. See you in future videos.